Alright, welcome back guys. So I appreciate for the crash on the previous video. So still adding dates of birth, that's date values to this, let's say June 12, 1987, while this is maybe May to 1992. This one should be July 13, let's say 2001. It's quite okay. We should also have, which month have I not added? December 25, 1985. And we should also have, let me see, February. Why did February before? Okay, February 12, 1986. And lastly, for Roberto Carlos, we are going to have, let's just say January 3rd, 2004. Assumed to be the youngest. So, because of the crash that happened initially, most of the formatting I did here are already gone. So I'm just going to center this back to, align this back to the center, and this also, and this to increase the width. Let's increase the width first of all. And all right, now so like I said before, let me see. Right, so like I mentioned before already, right? Words, should I say text or string data types are by default aligned to the left, while number data types are aligned to the right. So to have something like jersey number or temp as well, like I initially did, which I already explained before. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and probably 10. You can see that it's also aligned to they're all aligned to the right. And like I said already, you can as well change it. You can change the default setting, just like we changed this one to center. But we're going to leave this. Now, if you take note of this, when I click on any of these dates, at the top here I have custom. That is, it is not, is when you click this drop down, you can change the data type. So what we need is date. So I'm just going to highlight everything and change the data type to date. That's, you can have short, long dates. It depends on, okay. So it even tells us the day of the week. This is a long date format, but you can also have short dates, which is what you probably prefer to use in most cases. So this is what we have for a short date format. Let me see if I can, now it's too wide all right now. So this is better now. So that's being said, now next I'm going to be talking about, we've already talked about entering numbers and, how they align, their default alignment and all of that. So just like the date format, it was custom alignment, but we had to override the alignment of the text to center. And we can also override the alignment of the numbers, whether date or regular numbers. We can also change it to left, right, or center. Now let's talk about deleting and inserting rows and columns. Deleting and inserting rows and columns. So, peradventure you want to insert a new column, or you want to delete the column. For instance, now let me see what. Okay, initially I had this. Now I can just I can just over this, and that's on this part. Now you don't start from here. If you start from here, you're going to only delete this cell. If you want to delete the entire row, I'm going to have to click here. That's on this alphabet to highlight the entire row, and I right click and I'll find it here, and it deletes. The same way if I were to delete a column, let's assume that alright, I want to delete the Drogba column. I highlight this number, not this cell. If you highlight this cell, you're not going to get what you want. So I highlight this number, that row number 10, and it simply tells Excel to delete everything. Now you can see that once it deletes, let me undo that. You can see that once it deletes, the other comes up and it fills up the space. Alright, so what about if you want to add a new column or add a new row? So let's start from adding a new row. Now the same way, you have to right click here. When you right click and then you click on insert, you should take note that the new empty row is going to come before the highlighted row. So in this case now, this row 8 is the highlighted row. When I add a new column, it comes before 8. So it comes somewhere around here and it takes the place of number 7. So doing that, I'm just going to right click, insert, and you can see it shifts the initial row, that's, let me do that. The initial row 8 was Austin Okocha from Nigeria. So when I do that, shift it down, and then the new space is here. So, and then we can now add, we can now add something or whatever it is that we want to add. So, what player should we add? We can add, I don't know. Okay, so I think let's add Neymar. I think Neymar Jr. We don't know what his name is, and oh my God, I'm not sure what country he's from. So in case I didn't get this, please don't blame me, don't crucify me. I'm not a football person. All right, so let's assume it's from September. His date of birth is September, and September 15. It's quite young, so let's case to the 2005. All right now. So yeah, okay. You notice this is custom format. So I'm just going to change this as well to date format, short date. Okay. Oh, I've actually not changed the text, the type of all of them. Now, I thought I did. All right. So I liked everything and I changed everything to short date format. All right. I guess I did so before, but probably I mistakenly undid the change. So I've added a new column now. So the same way I can delete this. I can delete this, for instance, and I can try to insert a new. Let's assume how to insert what's the name? The club where I want to insert a column of the club where each of them plays, and I want that column to be. Now, if I want the column to be here, I don't need to insert. I can just type it. But assume I want to create a new column in between country column and date of birth. That's column B and column C. I highlight column C, and like I said, the new column comes before the highlighted column. That is here. So it shifts this date of birth column to the right and create an empty column here. So if I click on insert now, you can see shift it to the right, and then I can now add the club column, club they play for. So I mean, trust me, I don't know what clubs they play for, but that is just an instance. So now to do more, we're going to add a new column, a new view column. The column is let me just leave this. The column I'm going to add now is for serial number. You can see that the way it's looking currently, it's not, you can't even number them, and this numbering here is not correct. I can have quite a number of things. For instance, I can have some headers here, something like this. I can have multiple of it here, and then this is actually where the number 1 is starting, but I have 4. So we definitely want to have our own serial number column right now. So what do we do? Since we want to have it before this A, I'm going to highlight A. Remember, once I insert it, it shifts the column A, that's the name of footballers, to the right and create a new empty column. So I'm just going to name this serial number, and then I can now, add whatever numbers I want to add to it. So we'll continue from there in the next video. I don't want this video to go longer than this.